So again, just to recap, this kind of problems with this waterfall approach to everything is once it's in testing, it becomes very difficult to change it at the end. As you'll see, you might have noticed that you did the first drawings, and then when you had the review session, you kind of sit back and go, well, there's not too much point in changing this because it's going to be more difficult to change than it is to just redraw it from scratch. And that's really common amongst software about how you do that. And obviously, what tends to happen is because all the design is done up front in the waterfall model and then all the coding is done after, it becomes very difficult to go back up the stages. So if you need a change in the code, you might have to go back to the top, redo all the design work. Because say you've got an app that has 100 screens throughout it, and the customer says, I don't really like the home button on the toolbar at the top. It's then got to go back up the waterfall model to the top and redo the designs for all 100 screens, feed them all back down, redo all the software again for the row below, go down, all the testing again. So it becomes very difficult and very costly. And obviously there's a lot of risk and uncertainty around that. And as you've seen this, I mean, this was only, you've seen how many slip-ups can happen quite quickly just through drawing 4 drinks. Imagine when you get to designing something like Facebook and that you start with a person trying to explain to you what it is, and then you go away, build the whole thing, present it back to them. The chances of that being the same are very, very little. And so it is a poor model for kind of long and ongoing projects. And the thing we haven't really tapped into much there as well is that often along route, you'll get an email pop-up about 2 weeks before the end of the project that says, actually, I've decided to make a change, and it affects all the design work. So the project gets delayed by 4 weeks, it's got to go back up the chain, all the designs have got to be changed, all of the coding's got to be changed again, so you have all these kind of problems going on. Step in agile development. So this agile is a process that's come about in, I think it's the last decade, maybe 20 years it was coming about. And basically it's an idea of kind of adapting the problems that happen with the waterfall and trying to find a way around them and a way around working. So we've now got task 2, so we're back to drawing again. But this time in a slightly different way to the first one. So Prince and Luke here have got 2 sheets each. Okay. So I'm going to explain this one out. So I'm going to explain this one out because it's a little bit more complicated, the process we follow, than the first one, because we're doing this kind of agile development approach to it. So the key thing in agile is what we're not doing is getting the requirements for everything up front and then building it. What we're looking to do is to break it down into separate components as much as possible. And we're looking to build components that are dependent of each other at all times so we can get as much feedback as possible. So you've kind of got 6 iterations here of what you're going to go through. So the first iteration is going to be concentrating. So again, there's 4 items on the page. Again, same as the first one. I'll start with it. They're not drinks. Yeah, I'll give you that one for free. So they're not drinks. There's 4 items on the page. You start with just the first item. So all you're looking to do is you've got 2 minutes to ask about that first item. Then you've got 2 minutes to draw it. Also, how we build code in Agile is very different to how you'd build code in the waterfall model. What you're kind of looking to do is you're looking to be adaptable to change. So actually what we're going to do is we're going to do drawing 1, then you've got a review session, then drawing 2, drawing 3, drawing 4. You'll notice you have a bit less time for drawing 3 and drawing 4 because you'll already be in the process. Then when it comes to the 5th section, you've got something called refactoring, which is redesigning. So if you want, you don't have to, but if you want, you've got a chance to redraw on the second sheet of paper from where you started because it's much more adaptable. Okay, so does everyone get that for the first bit? I'll come back and explain when we get to the second bit, the second drawing, what happened. So for the first drawing, you've got 2 minutes to ask any questions about the first drawing only. And you 2 need your sheets of paper, otherwise it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, give them a comment, can't you, at the end of it?
Right, spin on it there.
They've done what we did, not exactly the same.
Exactly, is it?
Pretty much.
1 minute.
Really.
2 minutes for requirements gathering again. So what you're looking to do is ask them about kind of 2 things. The first one is any questions you've got about the first card, and then you also need to figure out what's in the second card.
Okay.
On top of that, Luke and Prince also get 1 comment each about the first card. Because it's Agile, we're trying to encourage that customer feedback as much as possible. So they get 1 comment on your first card, and then you can ask many questions about the first and second card. Got it? 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, are you making your comments?
Yeah, I'm going to make you've got the colour of the text. Red. What colour is
Just change that.
And a hat.
So again, you can use the first card to point it out and say, is it like this, is it not like this?
Okay.
So you can use the first one.
Anything like that.
What shoes is she wearing?
Again is on the right hand side.
What colour is the
Purple.
what colour is the background of the card?
White.
I'm sure you get my blood start. You're pushing it more like that. Yeah. Present it.